Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sim McDonough, IFBB Bikini Pro, and today, sadly, without Chelsea because I did not plan well, we are going to recap the Mile High Pro and the Empro Pro. I wish Chelsea were here, you guys. I am going to my mom's coming to town, so I realized that I need to get these videos done, and I did not plan with Chelsea, but I will not be able to do them tomorrow. So, or any other time today, because I'm getting baby's first Brazilian bikini wax and armpit wax, and my armpits have been going through hell in this growing out process. So, wish me luck. Okay, everyone. So, what is my pride piece of the day? Okay, my pride piece of the day is when my mom gets here, we are going to probably get pride tattoos. How did my mom react when I came out? Well, I accidentally outed myself to her, and you know, how did she take it? I would say shock and confusion. Even though, like, bitch, I had half my head shaved at the time, which had nothing to do with me being queer. I just wanted it like that, and then I found out that it was like a bisexual signifier. So yeah, but my mom loves rainbows. We already have one matching tattoo together. I have this tattoo right here, which I stole from a friend who has it, and it has all the colors of the pride flag. And my mom doesn't like black ink, for whatever reason, even though she's super tan, so all of the ink just falls out of her tattoos anyway, because she refuses to get a black outline. Um, so she just has the traditional six colors of the rainbow. But, she's there in spirit. She has a pride flag, like, on her fucking head. So, that's that. So yeah, my mom, sister, and I are all going to get pride tattoos probably, and yeah, that's the situation. So that's my pride piece of the week. Shout out mom, love you mom. Okay, let's go over these pictures. So we have Mile High, we have Empro, which is right here. And then we have Kirsty right there. And then we have the preview for the World Classic. I wanted to say Clash, World Classic. So let's get into it. Okay, love seeing this little rainbow on stage. I mean, there's two reds, but I'll still take it. Okay. And actually, the show, the World Clash that we're going to go over last year, it was like a rainbow on stage with all the bikinis. I'm going to pull it up. NPC World Classic 2024. Oh, I hear my boyfriend is getting home. Okay. Okay, here it was. That's not even the first call out that had like the full spectrum, which I was obsessed with. Okay, so let's look like right here. The stage was so pretty last year, so I'm very excited to I'm very excited to see what it looks like this year. And there was a yellow suit. Okay, there's the yellow suit. So yeah, that is the photo I want to show. Look, oh, dang it. No, it's not. Okay, is that? Yeah, yellow. Okay, so look at this. It's like a full rainbow. So we have pink, red, no orange, but then we have yellow, blue, no purple, but green. So yeah, it was just really pretty. And yeah, this background's so pretty. Maybe I will do this show one day. Okay, so I am going to Chattanooga soon, actually. I'm just gonna miss the weekend though that it's happening. So let's go over the Mile High. So here is the scorecard. Ashley Kaltwasser won with a perfect score, and then it was super tight between Reina and Eureka. So I'll talk about what I think happened there. This show happened a couple weeks ago, so like Elizabeth has competed in a show since then, which we just recapped, the Nevada State. So we are going to go into her physique. And then in fifth place, we had Lenny Barentine. So Lenny has been doing really great this season, like finally broke into a top five. So yeah, let's talk about all these competitors. And if you have anything pride related you want to talk about, LMK. And my boyfriend bullied me about not using my microphone. He was like, Chelsea has a Shure mic and your audio sounds like shit. And then he saw my interview with Tiana and he was like, I listened. And he was insinuating that it was hard to listen to. And he was like, she was crystal clear and you sounded bad. So you know what? That has prompted me. I got out the microphone before this, but I didn't really know how to set it up, and I didn't really care to figure it out right now. But I will be using it next week. I'll be using it next week because my boyfriend is going to set it up for me. He doesn't know yet, but I'm sure he knows. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's start with our comparison photos. Comparisons. And then we're gonna go to the open. Oh, and is this our first call out? Because, girl, why don't we just start right there? What do you think about that? Okay, so trying to see where people are in their front poses. Not everyone. Okay, people are moving around. Okay, is this good enough? Yes. Okay, I should have done that beforehand, but here we are. Okay. So the lighting, this is the best the Mile High photos have ever looked. Like, look at, okay, not to be a hater, but like, look at how awful the photos have been the past couple years. Okay, do you see this? This is not okay. This is a disaster. And then compared to this, crystal clear, gorgeous. So thank you, photographers, for making that happen for us. So let's get into the comparison photos. So here it is. I had it up a second ago. Okay, so this is our first call out. And what stands out to me, everyone's conditioning looks really, really good. I would say the person that I think has the best balance on the stage in the front pose is Ashley, like undeniably. But someone else who stood out to me was Lenny. Not as much in this picture, but Lenny did stand out to me in what I saw on Instagram the day that the show happened. But yeah, I'm seeing the things that pop out negative to me, like when I am just looking at the photo as if I'm a judge, is Elizabeth's tan doesn't look as glowy, so I'd like to see some more glaze. And Raina looks a little lower body dominant. There's just something going on with the front pose. I don't know exactly what it is when I look at this comparison photo. I don't know if she needs to angle her hips away a little bit more. It's something with her core. I don't even necessarily think it's the tattoo because I know some people might think, oh, that's the issue. But I don't know, like, if we just need to be tighter in the core. There's just something about the front pose. So we're gonna get into that more in the individuals. But Raina's makeup could be a little more glam. That stands out negatively to me. What stands out negatively to me with Ashley is the vacuuming in the core, which is something that happens to her in a lot of shows she does. But the best balance on stage, I think, is certainly Ashley. And then I think Eureka is probably the best balanced, second best balance in the front pose, even though Reina is very eye-catching in the front pose, especially with her, like, mostly because of her cartoonish proportions and the fact that she's not, like, too hard anywhere. Her conditioning looks very similar from top to bottom. I would say, though, that she reads as a little shallow in the chest here, so I almost want to see more chest development, but we'll look at that again and see what we think. But I think why she edges out Eureka is the tighter waistline. That is just the thing that Eureka needs to overcome. And Reina has better glute pop than Eureka, but I think the reason they were so close to each other on the scorecard was because Eureka is so well balanced. I think her proportions just are not as exaggerated as Reina's, and that's where Reina edged her out because they both have excellent uh presentation on stage. Like they exude confidence, they look like they're having fun, which are two major things when it comes to your stage vibe. But I think, yeah, in the front pose, I could see the argument for Eureka winning, but I think in the back pose is definitely where Reina edges out Eureka because she has better overall glute development. So if I were judging this, I'll look at the individuals closer. I'm very distracted by how developed Elizabeth's arms are and how it doesn't match development wise with her lower body. So I probably would have had Elizabeth in fifth place based on this front pose and Lenny in fourth place. But I do think Lenny, at least in this pose, does not have as exaggerated proportions. So I can understand why it fell the way it did. The only tight race on the scorecard, I believe, was second and third, right? And then, yeah, everyone else, it was a difference of 3 points all the way down, pretty much, except for 10th and 11th place, which was Kimber and Jackie Jones. So, yes, that is what I think there. And then looking at their back poses, okay, looking at it, yeah, Mile High. Okay, because this is like the background for the Mile High every year, I think, but this lighting is just so much better. So, in the back pose, I mean, I wish the picture were a little bit clearer, but if I were to judge the back pose, yeah, I would give it to Reina, honestly, probably. She doesn't have as much projection as Ashley, but her upper outer glute is fuller, but Ashley's lower glute looks fuller. And Ashley is like the definition of like popping out of her skin here, muscularity wise. So I can see why she still won. Like, this is an incredible back pose, but I think Reina's is really, 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 really good, really, really good. So, and could edge out Ashley. Yeah, this is really good. Okay, so when I look at them, I would probably have in the back pose the amount of projection and pop Ashley has. I would have to give it to her, even though I think shape wise, Reina's back pose is superior. And the reason I say that is mainly because of the lack of shape compared to Reina that we get from Ashley in this photo. Ashley also looks like she's a little bit more cut up in the back of her legs here, like this hamstring going into the adductor. And I think Reina's is closer to the criteria where you see like those hints of the lines, but nothing is too deep. But Ashley also gets like a lot of depth in her glutes with the amount of projection she gets. So I totally see why she won this back pose. I think my taste would have me giving the back pose to. I would give it to Ashley, but I do think Reina's is more aesthetic. So yeah, that's what I would do. And then third place, I agree, it would be Eureka. So I think, yeah, Reina's back pose is really close to getting a first place here. So I would have to make Eureka third place in the back pose. I would even have it pretty tight between Eureka and Eleni for the back pose. The only issue with Lenny is that her arms are looking a little bit skinny to me and her lower body looks super, super full. And Eureka, you can't say that. She completely balances from top to bottom with the amount of size and development she has in her upper and lower body. So I would have had Lenny in fourth. Elizabeth, I would have her in fifth. And I maybe I'd even have her lower. I'm not looking at sixth place, so I could think she was lower too. Uh, think she should be lower too. But yeah, so that's what I would say with fourth place. And then what would I think about Elizabeth? I think the triceps are just very distracting for me. And I don't see as much differentiation between her glutes and her legs. Her glutes look like they have less width than her legs. So that throws off the balance too much for me. So it's like the main things we're looking at in the back pose really are shoulder width and glute width matching. And when I see so those two muscle groups would also be bigger than everything else and everything would taper down from there. But for Elizabeth, it's the opposite, in my opinion. So I think her shoulders are dwarfed by the amount of development in her arms, and her glutes are dwarfed by the amount of development in her legs. So it goes tapering in the opposite way. It's tapering from legs up and arms up instead of shoulder down, glute down. So that is what I think there. I also think the blonde is just too harsh. She's put on an incredible amount of size since she last stepped on stage, so that is a huge win. She looks, would I say better than she looked at her last season? Honestly, more impressive, yes, but better in terms of bikini criteria. I would have to say no, only because her proportions are now thrown off. So if I show you when she last competed, which was 2023, she got as high as a second place, I think. Third place. Okay, she got a third place in 2022. Okay, so yeah, she got a third, she got a fourth. Let me look at this photo where she got, let's look at her 14th place. So yeah, I think this was just better bikini shape. And now the muscle is just not quite in the right places. She's consistently getting fourth place, so she's doing better than she did last time she stepped on stage. And maybe it's just because I know what she looked like before, so it's that bias creeping in. But yeah, the muscularity imbalance for me is what I'm having a tough time with. But it's incredibly impressive she's been able to put on that much size. And I think there are some easy things she could do with her posing and presentation to give her better bikini shape. But long term, it would just be putting on the muscle in the right places so that she can achieve the bikini shape if that's what she wants. Okay, so that's what I have to say about comparisons. Let's talk about our individuals. So here is Ashley K. Let's go to her front pose. Okay. So, okay. So the hair, there are some things that are hard for me not to point out, which is the hair looks a little bit messy. Let's talk about the good things first, though. Uh, her conditioning is spot on. She is getting like pop and projection. Her skin is glowing. The tan is perfectly laid. Her makeup is glam. So I think that's all great. I think the makeup looks better in person than it does in this photo too. But yeah, makeup is glam. She looks like, a trophy. She looks really good. Like that's the kind of glow and conditioning she has. But what would I change? So posing for Ashley, I think is her greatest downfall. And she's still placing second in the world with posing that I think could use some improvement. Uh, this is her 51st win, by the way, so congratulations, Ashley K. But yeah, so a few things presentation wise. I don't love the purple stones on the edges of this red suit. I would just prefer one solid color. I also don't love when there are like those AB crystal stones, or at least close to AB crystal stones, on suits because they like pure AB, not like fuchsia AB and stuff like that. Just because it reflects as headlights and I find it distracting. It can wash a competitor out. So yeah, I would prefer just a uniform color. I don't love all the extra like colors they're trying to weave into the suit. Uh, the vacuum I find very distracting. So if she could pull her ribs down and in, I would prefer to see that. Her waist is tiny though, so her proportions are crazy. And her hair is just looking messy. Like it's wrapped around in circles around the shoulder. It's completely covering this back shoulder. I would probably drop her hand down so it's not covering the smallest part of her waist because with this vacuum and making her ribs protrude like this makes her waist look a little bit thicker. So if she could drop her hand down, then I think that would be more appealing as far as hourglass and it would accentuate like her crazy frame even better. Uh, and it almost looks like this shoulder is sloping forward and that could just be because her hair is covering it. So it's like leading me to believe things are off. But yeah, the hair is just not really glam enough for me. I want it to be more polished and it just looks messy. Uh, so yeah. So yeah. Uh, sorry. I wish I had like more positive things to say. I just don't. And then in this transition, she's like squatting into it. It's looking a little bit awkward. Like I just want her to stand tall and not round her shoulder forward like it is right now. So it's just a miss for me. It's just a miss for me. Yeah, and it causes like folding under the glutes. And Ashley comes in shape. She's not like out of shape. So why we shouldn't be seeing folding. Uh, Okay, yeah, actually, the glutes are sloping off, and I think it's because she has such close to a T-back shape with this. Her glutes just don't have as much pop as they usually do. So it's her first show of the season. Her conditioning gets better and better as she competes more. So yeah, and this shoulder is all pinched up, like she needs to get some body work because it's not at the same angle as this other arm. And I do believe she's centered in this photo. Let me pull up another back pose. Yeah, she kind of like cocked to the side, and then the hair is like going diagonally across the back. It's just not polished, and the shoulders look unlevel. Yeah, Reina actually looking at these individuals, like I give Reina the back pose, 100%. The projection is great, but like, yeah, there's just something going on. It almost looks a little bit too soft in the conditioning. Yeah, and when she points her elbows back this much, when like her arms are so hiked up and she like points them out so much, then it diminishes her lats. We can see her suit cups from the front. I don't want to see that. I want to see the lats like flexed enough that it tapers into her waist. And she has a really great waist taper in the front because of like her lat insertions. So I think if she could just like straighten her arms a little bit, so you get, and who am I to tell second in the world, three times Miss Bikini Olympia how to pose, but like I think it could use some improvement. I also just I hate the suit. I hate it. I hate that there are like purple stones like polka dotting the edges, like the trim of the suit. It looks like crafty, like she made it herself. So that's just a gripe I have with the suit design specifically. But the tan looks really good. I just need more polished hair. We need the pose to be symmetrical on both sides, and I would like some more projection because I'm losing the hamstrings, and hamstrings are usually like a very strong point for Ashley. I think she made a joke once about she hamstring curled out of the womb, which I thought was hilarious. So yeah. Okay, and let's get into Reina. Oh, I love Reina. I love Reina. So Reina got 13th at her first Olympia, which was last year. And actually, okay, this pose is looking a lot better. Something a little bit off about it for me. I think her elbow is bent and pointed back. So if she could just straighten her arm and bring it tighter to her frame, and then continue to just keep the core as tight as possible, drop the hand down to the connector. I've talked about this suit top before, how it looks saggy. So if she could just get a better fitting suit top, I think that would make a huge difference for me. Something that just went straight across, especially with the way this is like going down, accentuating your lat. It makes everything look droopy. So just a better constructed suit top. The makeup is not very glam. I'd like to see more glam makeup, but like it just looks too light. Ashley's was a little washed out too, but Raina's makeup typically looks washed out, so I think it's safe to assume that it's a little washed out here as well. Um, Same thing as Ashley, drop the hand down a little bit to get like a more even halves of the frame. The glute pop is insane. I would probably even bring her foot out more to here, angle her knee in, let it drift slightly at the judges. That way it's more like this instead of like, making her look almost upper body dominant with this width. Her glute projection makes up for it. It matches the width better, but I think her front pose could be improved. So maybe if she just, stood up tall like she is, straighten the arm a little bit, even open the hips very slightly, so we see more of the front of the suit bottoms. And yeah, yeah. I don't know. I would just like to see some tweaks to this front pose and then get the hair like off the front of you. It's just kind of like causing some weirdness here, laying across the chest and stuff. So yeah, just like sweep the hair back, but really beautiful shapes. She still gets great shape, even though I don't think this pose is at the best that it can be. I know she's been working on her front pose, so I think just a few more tweaks and she will really get it. Her back pose, though, is always incredible. It's very hard to beat. Like at any other show, she probably could have won to this day. But yeah, I think Ashley is just, she's a force at any show she does. Okay, there's not an official back pose here that I'm seeing. Does she ever? Okay, well, I already kind of talked about it. I think she maybe could have used like a little bit more projection, but it was a really great back pose, and I think her back pose like won the show, and I would have liked to see it tighter on the scorecards because of her back pose, but in person, I was in there. I'm sure it looked really good, and everyone got the placings they deserved, but I would like to see, them compared in real life next to each other. Okay, and then Eureka. So Eureka, great stage presence as always. Let's look at her front pose. So her front pose, where is it? Does she get into it here? They might not have captured it. I don't know. Let's go to her last page and maybe she's like in it. Okay, so here is her front pose. Yeah, makeup looks super glam. I love it. There's always something about the hairline for me that just looks a little bit heavy. So if we could do something with the hair, maybe a little volume or something, I think that would really up her glam factor. But the shape is really good. Her conditioning is spot on. You aren't seeing any vascularity. I do still think her suit top could have a little more coverage. I think we see a lot of skin up top, and it would be more flattering just if we had like, sized up in the bikini top a little bit. Her shoulder is sloping off, so I would like to see her level her shoulders, bring her arm in tighter, like I always say about her. It's always a little bit too far out. And then her foot is angled away. I want to see her foot angled either straight to the side or instead of like back like this, or angled slightly at the judges. I think the angle of this foot is perfect. But if she could like bring her knee in a little bit like more towards the judges, I think that would give her a better balance between like the sides in her back leg and her front leg. But yeah, really gorgeous. I'm a huge Eureka fan, so it's, I hate to even critique, but I love her. Actually, I love most of the people that I talk about. I don't know any of the people, so I'm sure I would love everyone. But unless, you give me Republican vibes, but even then I still will compliment your physique even if I have a distaste for that. But yeah, so that's what I think here. I think her waist just is thicker compared to everyone else's. So that's the biggest hurdle for her to overcome. I do think she brought her hand in tighter, and if she angled her leg better, then her front pose would change. Would it change the shape of her waist? No, but it would give her a better overall shape. But this is the exact conditioning and tan that we want to see on stage. And then going into her back pose. Okay. Okay, it's not fully posed. I already said what I had to say about her back pose when she was in the comparisons, though. Her glutes could just use a little bit more development and projection. And then I think, she would place higher even with the waist issue. Okay, Elizabeth, I kind of already said everything about Elizabeth, I think, but let's look at these individual photos. So yeah, the arm is distracting, the tricep and bicep. The tricep from the front even is it's distracting. And I would like to see more shape to her hamstrings. It just looks like she's more lean and like has more definition up top than she does on bottom. And I think it's literally because she has more muscle up top than she does on bottom. So when she leans out unevenly. Women's upper bodies usually get lean the fastest. So it makes sense that there's sometimes an imbalance between upper and lower with competitors. But since she has so much muscle up top, more than like the average bikini competitor, then she looks even more lean and jacked up top, which further shows the imbalance between her upper and lower body. So yeah, her arm I think is in a good spot. I would like to drop this hand to the waist and then more arch in the lower back to get more pop to this upper glute here. And I think she could benefit from what Tiana talked about, which is not being able to see the fabric from the front on this suit bottom. And yeah, I just don't really see any detail in either of the legs. They just look like a little bit washed out. So like there's just a layer of like body fat that needs to be taken down. But if she got any leaner, she'd be way too lean up top. So I think that's what's going on. And then moving on to makeup looks beautiful. And moving on to her back pose. Okay, here's her back pose. I would like the hair to be longer. I think we're seeing too much of her back. She's posed this pretty well. She looks really relaxed, so that's good. I don't see as much shape in the shoulder than I do the other one. And I think her suit cut is just too small. So I think she could, and it looks like she ended up arching more at the Nevada show than she did at this show. I think this pose is a little more flattering. It just doesn't look as forced. But yeah, really tighten these hamstrings. I don't really see much pop in the glutes. And I need more size in the upper glutes. But I think part of that comes from the fact that the suit cut is so small that it exposes the shallowness at the top of the glutes. Tan looks really good here though. In the back. Okay, and then going to Lenny. So I love the green suit Lenny is wearing. I love green. So I would make sure you're getting that under boob when you tie yourself in. Just like pull your boob up and out. And I think her balance is really good. Her upper body is a little smaller than her lower body, like I said, in her back pose of her comparisons. So I think just a little more development in her shoulders. Maybe she could even just pump them more. Maybe that would be enough. But yeah, I would say a little more sides up here. We are seeing some striations, so it looks like, you know, her lower body is just a little more developed than her upper, especially like with that. Like she's gotten so lean that you see striations. Which everyone has striations before they fill out for stage. You have them on stage and you're trying to hide them when you're on stage. But I think she doesn't have as much like projection in the glute or shoulder as the people who placed ahead of her. But I think her balance is pretty good. I would say it's better than Elizabeth's in terms of bikini criteria because she, I think, hits the bikini criteria better than Elizabeth, even though she needs a little more size. The tan looks good. The glow looks good. Looks a little bit lighter up here, but I think that's just the lighting. And makeup and hair look really good. Oh, okay, here she is closer. So yeah, same things, honestly, same things. She could stand up a little taller. She's a little hunched. Um, Yeah, I really am a big fan of this competitor. Okay, and then in her back pose, her lower body is perfect in her back pose. Like, I think it's really good. And the pop she has in her upper body is really good. It's just that the arms look a little bit smaller. So her glutes look like they're there for the most part in the back pose. Like, as far as the things that judges want to see, could they be fuller up here? Yes. She could also have more coverage right there in the bottoms. And I would like to see more hamstring. I don't really see much hamstring, but it is smooth. So I'd rather see it look this smooth than see like a bunch of hamstring ropes. She could straighten her arms a little bit. This looks a little chicken wingy, but that's an easy fix. So congratulations to Lenny on breaking into that top 5. Okay. And now, moving on, let's talk about Empro. Okay, I need water. I need water immediately. Okay, so let's look at the scorecards. IFBB. Okay. Sorry if you didn't like that. I didn't like that sound. Okay, so in bikini. Okay, Command F, a bikini. Okay. So Evie won with perfect score, and it was just perfect scores all the way down the list. Was it in real life perfect scores? Probably no. That would be pretty much impossible. But yeah, so Evie won, then it was Lisa. So who did Chelsea and I predict? Oh, Ned, my sister, texted me, so I need to take care of what she said. So I thought it would be Evie, Lisa, and then Rookie. And then, and I got the first two right, so I am proud of myself for that. And then Chelsea thought it would be, okay, let me screenshot this. Okay, Chelsea, agree. Okay. And then Chelsea thought it would be Evie. Okay, yeah, she thought it'd be Evie, Ruki, Kirsty, and Lisa. So we both got the winner right, and we both got two of the top four. So good for us. Okay, so let's look at these athletes. So starting with Evie, we'll start with comparisons. So this show, I honestly might have had, not even might have, like I think I would have had Lisa winning this show. Uh, Not that I think it's a politics thing, but I do think when you see Evie up there, then you, since you know that she's won so much, then it's hard not to have her winning. So here's the comparison photo. And I like Evie, like don't get me wrong. I just like, yeah, actually, okay, looking at this, the front pose I think is where, okay, actually I haven't looked at these comparisons yet. I saw comparisons on Instagram, so I'm gonna keep an open mind and see what I think. So here's our first call out. Looking at this, the things that detract for me, I think this competitor is a little bit too forced in this front pose. She's like tilting back. But as far as conditioning, I think Evie is spot on. I think a lot of these people are spot on, actually. This is like the exact fullness that all the judges say that they want to see. So I'm happy to see that it is being rewarded like they say it should. And yeah, the fullness looks great. Evie's bracelet is distracting me there, but that's not really, something that's going to be judged. So I think the most aesthetic front pose that achieves all the criteria in this first call out, maybe it is Evie. I think Lisa struggles with her front pose with that rib flare. So I would have Evie winning the front pose. And the back pose, I would have Lisa winning the back pose. So I will show you why I think that. Okay, so here is Lisa and Evie. Okay, so here is Lisa and Evie. I think that Evie's glutes look a little unconditioned right here, like she needs to be a little bit tighter. I think that Lisa gets better pop and projection out of the skin and that her upper body matches. So I would have Lisa winning the back pose. However, Evie probably does have better stage presence. So I think her stage presence coupled with her front pose winning and her back pose being really, really good, that's what wins her the show. Do I think the scorecard should have been tighter? Just based on pictures, yes. But it is what it is. So yeah, okay, let's look at this photo though. So if I were to place this photo, I would have Evie, as far as front pose, I would have Evie, and then probably Ruki, or is this Gulsa? Maybe I would have Evie, Gulsa, and then Lisa and Ruki. That would be how I would place top four, just because I find Lisa's midsection so distracting with what's going on with her ribs. And then when I look at the back pose, I mean, Kirsty looks really, really fucking good. So Kirsty is the person that said she was going to switch to figure, and then she appeared on the bikini list and got top 5. So I assume that this means she's found her division. She's going to stick with bikini, so congratulations to her. And we'll go look at her physique too. She got top 5. Which her first top 5 in bikini. So excited for her. I'm a big fan. Okay, so looking at the back pose, I would have Lisa, Evie, Gulsa, and then Ruki, because Ruki is a little bit more arched. But these are from a low angle. So I can't even totally judge that, but I'm just telling you guys what I think because that's what this channel is. So yeah, that's my take there. So let's look at these people individually. So Evie wore a green suit. I think that's a fun move. So Evie, she keeps doing this. I don't like this. I don't think she has great hourglass shape from the front. I think she looks pretty straight up and down. She's gorgeous and captivating and confident and looks incredible in this color. Her posing, her tan is perfect. Her makeup's perfect. Her hair is perfect. She exudes the confidence that you need to exude. Her conditioning is on point at this show. So I see why she wins. I just don't love these straight on poses. So yeah, that's what I have to say there. And then let's look at her front pose. So here she is in her front pose. Uh, it's really good. Her conditioning is really good. I would just bring the arm in tighter and move this bracelet down the wrist. I think the makeup, this is some of my favorite makeup I've seen on Evie. So yeah, I would bring the arm closer to the physique, just give her a better hourglass shape because she looks kind of straight up and down here. If she brought her arm tighter to her body, she would get better taper into her waist. And either way, it would frame her glute better so it doesn't look like a bunch of negative space here. And I would maybe, she could leave the hand where it is because she has a shorter, actually she has longer torso. So having it here does still kind of cut her in half, which we want. And this photo is taken at kind of a low angle, but yeah, I just want the arm tighter. But I think this conditioning, this is probably my favorite conditioning I've seen on Evie. It does not look too hard at all, and that's something I'm usually a little bit tough on her for. Yeah, this angle looks, yeah, actually, this is a really good angle. This angle looks better, and I would still bring the arm closer and then level the shoulders. She should bring her hand down, actually, because that's why her shoulder drifts up like this all the time. So yeah, I would just make those adjustments with the arms, but the lower half, I think, is exactly where it needs to be in terms of posing. And then in her back pose, yeah, this is the fullest I've ever seen her. She does not look too hard at all. Like, she has a little bit of detailing here, but a lot of people have detailing there and still bring the right conditioning. She and Lisa are doing that thing where they point their elbows out. I think if they point them more at the judges, then they'll get better shoulder projection. This tricep won't be so distracting. There's just no reason we need to see your bicep when you're in your back pose. And that's what's happening to her and Lisa. I think she could use more projection in the glutes. And I think Lisa has her on projection in the glutes, but this conditioning is really, really great. And hair looks great. So yeah, congratulations to Evie. And then in Lisa, as far as Lisa's photos go, okay, let's look at Lisa. And then, okay, let's see. So here is Lisa. Let's get her where her eyes are not closed. And then one sec. Okay, I had to text my sister back. Okay, so Lisa, the red is okay. I prefer her in green. She looks really good in green. The red just is a little bit too dark and blends with the tan too much. I mean, it doesn't blend, but it's not popping off of the tan, and you want it to like celebrate you, and I just don't think it's doing that. It just looks kind of like it's there. So I love her in green. I hope she wears green to the Olympia. She already qualified, so it doesn't matter. She's qualified like 3 times this season already. A couple of at least one of the shows she won was not like, they didn't put photos of it up, but she has won more than one show this year. Her conditioning is on point. This is like the best conditioning I've ever seen on her. If she can just get these ribs to come in and down, then it's a knockout front pose, and she beats a lot of the people who she like usually doesn't beat in the US, I think. And not that the US is the best by any means, but it is where like our most top Olympians are from. So when she comes and does these US shows like the Olympia, I think this is going to keep her in the 16th place range, like the sea of 16 at the Olympia. But I think with this conditioning and the amount of like balance and fullness she has, then she could get into that top 15 at the Olympia, but this front pose is going to keep her out of it until she fixes it. But the hair looks really good. Makeup could be a little more glam, but everything about this front pose is really good except for that. She could bring her hand down a little bit, but yeah, I think it's really, really, really good. And this taper from the glute to the hamstring, gorgeous. Love the hamstring drop. She has really great balanced muscularity, top to bottom, front to back. She looks really, really, really good. This is my favorite that Lisa has ever looked, including shows that she has won this season. So back pose, same feedback that I said about Evie. We don't really need to see the biceps, so angle those elbows in. In her back pose, she does look like she maybe is a little bit inflamed. Like, I just don't see the amount of tightness and popping out against the skin from the muscle in the shoulders that I'd like to see. So that is just, yeah. And if she adjusted her posing, I think that would help. But yeah, she does look like she just maybe spilled a little bit. But the projection in her glutes is really good. Yeah, I think her conditioning, Evie had her on conditioning. She looks tighter in the hamstrings than she does in these shoulders. So I will have Evie winning from front and back now that I see this. So yeah. Okay. But yeah, just angle the elbows in. I say that about Lisa every time. Conditioning is really, really good. Okay, and then in third place, we have Gulsa. So I have talked about Gulsa a couple times because I have been waiting for her to get into a top 5 because she looks really good. She has all the muscle that she needs, or at least most of it. Really great conditioning and shape. So I was really excited to see her here. Her glam looks great. Her suit, I think, is too dark for the same reasons that I didn't prefer Lisa's red suit. I don't prefer this suit. So a green, she's worn green in the past, and she's at least worn blue. Uh, yeah, green. Okay, I would prefer the green or the blue. So yeah, but her conditioning is on point. She does look tighter up top than she does in the lower body. So conditioning is on point in the lower body, but the upper body not as much. So I think that is how Lisa edged her out. But the glam is gorgeous. Like, look at that mug. It is a beat. She looks beautiful. And the hair, I love these highlights. I know she didn't like highlight her hair the morning of the show or something, but like it looks like she really just really pulled things together presentation wise. This is great. Her front pose does look a little bit forced. I think she's trying to open her shoulder width a lot because she might have a thicker waist when she's straight on. Let's see if we can tell. um yeah, I do think her waist is a little wider, so she has to open up a lot to pose around it to make her proportions more exaggerated. um but yeah, I mean, really, really good. Oh, is this? Yeah, okay, that's the same. I was just on that page. Okay, and then looking at her back pose, yeah, I'm really happy with the conditioning that they were awarding at this show. Like, nobody looks overly lean. I know that's a gripe people have with European shows, including people from Europe, where they say we have to get tighter to win shows here and then we come to the Olympia, and we don't really know how to come in. So yeah, I think Golsa, she just needs more density and like projection on her glutes. So that means she needs an off season to really build up her glutes. And then I think she's going to match really well and could be winning shows. But she's tighter on the upper body, and looks soft in this lower body. But if she got tighter in the lower body, her upper body would be crazy shredded. So what she needs to do is bring up the density in her glutes so that when she leans down for her next show, she can have the same conditioning front to back, top to bottom, front to back, and top to bottom in her front pose and top to bottom in her back pose. So yeah, that will just take an off season. Could you win a show like this? Maybe, but you don't get that taper from the glutes into the legs. But congratulations on getting third place. She has been working very hard. Everyone does, but like, gotta give credit. Okay, and then we have Ruki. So I really love Ruki's physique. So here she is in her front pose. Her conditioning is, I mean, it's very impressive. It's too hard for bikini, like all these veins, like this harsh capping at the top. I mean, at her shoulders. I do like the suit. I don't mind these kind of speckled stones. I think it's pretty. I think the makeup's also pretty. Yeah, I think the makeup is pretty. I was wondering if the eyes are a little bit light, but I think she's just kind of looking down. Yeah, I think it's great. The tan is great. She could just use more shape to this upper glute here. It looks like she got this tight to show the lines that they want to see in bikini and to show the shape. But it just put the conditioning over the top. So could she win a show and go to the Olympia again? I think so. I think she went to the Olympia last year. Yeah, I think she could win a show with this current physique. It's just gonna have to be the right show, but this taper in the waist is crazy. Conditioning matches top to bottom, even though it is a little over the line. And then in her back pose, okay, so in her back pose, I think she's just bent over a little bit too much because we're seeing a lot of detail in these legs, like in these hamstrings, and we're losing her upper glute and we're shrinking her torso. So if she just stood up taller with her torso, then we would not lose that shoulder width, and the shoulder width would then match the width of the glutes, and she wouldn't look imbalanced from top to bottom. Because being so short up top makes her look super imbalanced from top to bottom and makes these hamstrings stand out even more. So if she could just stand up taller and get a suit cut that has more coverage to cover like the upper part of this glute and give it more shape, because right now it looks like just exposed skin and we lose shape. So I would like to see just more shape, and that's just going to come from standing up taller. And maybe if she could soften up a little bit, like if that's possible while still maintaining all her lines, then I think she is definitely going to be winning a show pretty soon here. Okay, and then we have Kirsty. So I need more water. Okay, so I'm a big fan of Kirsty. Big fan. Guys, I need to be drinking more water because I threw on my back yesterday. And it can't help that I probably was slacking on my water. Okay, so let's pull up Kirsty's front and back pose. Sorry, I didn't do this for everyone else. Okay, so but Kirsty's special. Just kidding. No, Kirsty, you are special. Okay, so looking at her front pose, I was worried she would be too muscular for bikini, and she's not. I mean, not at all. I think that she could. I think she is posing in a way that makes her look imbalanced because when she turns to the back, she's very balanced. So her front pose, okay, first thing, I went through all the photos. She smiled in maybe one of them. So I would, I hate to tell women this, but she needs to smile more on stage. It's just the name of the game. So yeah, if she could smile more, just so she looks like she's having a good time, then she might have been able to edge out Rookie. Rookie, I mean, maybe, yeah, because they both, I think where they both lack a little bit is the fullness in the upper outer glutes, but I think both of them would benefit from just having more coverage, and we'll talk more about like other things Kirsty could do, but yeah, I think she could have edged out Rookie if she just posed differently, and this is only her first show of the season, and until this season, she was going to switch to another division, so this is really fucking good for someone who like wasn't even going to do this division a few months ago. Maybe she was, but I don't know. So yeah, what do I think? Smiling more will help her stage vibe. That's gonna like capture the judges' attention. If you don't look like you're having fun, then judges are like, not gonna notice you as much. The suit is okay. Actually, no, the suit is good. I thought there were a bunch of AB stones up top, but that's just lighting. Yeah, I like the suit. I think it could have more coverage. But I think she's also opened so far up that she might not even need more coverage. She might just be opening up so much. We see so much skin, but the coverage is fine. Could she have a little more coverage? I think so. But yeah, so I want her to pose. Right now, she's super opened up. I want her to drop her hand away from the smallest part of her waist, so drop it to the connector. Not open up as the lower body, I think is perfect. Pose exactly like this. Maybe angle the knee in a little bit, let it drift towards the judges slightly. Yeah, but right now, okay, I'm just gonna show you. I'm not wearing the right shirt to show you though, but I'll just do it. Okay. Oh, my phone's plugged in. Oops. Okay. So, okay, I threw out my back, so I don't know if this is a good idea. Okay, so she's really opened up. This is what I would like to see her pose as. Okay, my room's messy. So right now, she's like this. I want to see her more like this. So, one sec. Okay, just put on a shirt I haven't worn in like 2 years. So right now, she is like this. If she could angle her shoulders away a little bit, bring the arm tight to her waist, or sorry, tight to her glute, just like that, and not have the shoulders open up right here. And instead of the hand being right here, drop it to her connector. I think that would be it. And right now her leg is like angled away a little bit. If she could just let the knee slightly drift in, I think that would change everything. So that is what I would like to see from Kirsty. And then in her back pose is really good. It's really good. The hair is just too heavy. I want it to be like 2 inches shorter so we can see her lower back, so we can see like how freaking tiny her waist is. It is tiny. Yeah, I think that's what we need because it just looks heavy, so it's weighing her down and making her look really wide and thick in the waist because we see no waist, just like an opaque curtain. So yeah, shorter hair or just curl the hair so that it gets shorter. That would be good. But if you curl the hair, you have to run a brush through it. If you curl your hair, you want it to look like Brittany Gillespie's hair. So like this. When she is at Legion. So yeah, when she turns to the back, this is like you want it, okay, it looks a little bit messy here, but you want it brushed through like that. You don't want it to look like how Elizabeth's hair was looking. And sorry, no shade, Elizabeth. I'm not trying to pick on you. But I wanted her to have brushed through hair. So yeah, like you don't want it to look like that when you curl it, if she chooses to curl it. So yeah, congratulations to Evie for winning another show. And now let's go over the World Clash list. Okay. So at the World Clash, it's a very exciting show, and Ashley Kaltwasser is coming back. So, okay. here's our list. We have a ton of people. And they're doing men's physique, so that's pretty cool. So anyone who wins their pro card in men's physique or in bikini, this weekend, they will be able to go compete in the pro shows. So this is not a complete list. Like, if any of the 8 people who win bikini want to go compete in their first pro show, then they are free to do that. So we have a lot of people. I pulled up Ariel. I pulled up Lenny. Lenny, we just talked about, so I'm going to take her down. Do I think she's a front runner to win? Not necessarily, but her pop at Miami looked way better than it did at Mile High. So, okay, I'm going to X out. Okay, Ariel, Lenny, and then we have, let's just go through each of these people. So Ariel is going to be one to watch. I think if she can achieve the fullness that she had in 2023, like this kind of conditioning, then it's possible she wins the show, but it's going to be really hard to beat Ashley. At this Girl Power she did earlier in the year, she just looked a little bit like her physique was tired. She didn't really have much pop, and she needs to arch her lower back in this front pose, not open up quite so much. You can look at my reviews of that show to see like what I think she could do to improve. I reviewed the Girl Power show, so you can watch that. But yeah, that's what I think with her, but she's definitely someone to watch. I'll do my rankings when we get to like the end of all these people I pulled up. So Lenny is another person. I think she could definitely be in this top 10. I like this suit too. So this where the green is good. And I already said what she should work on. And then Kiki, I don't see her winning the show, but she has been doing really well. It's a difficult show, so I don't know that I'll see her getting in top 5, but I wanted to mention her. She has been getting top 5 and higher. She's just a little tight in the hamstrings and needs more projection on her upper outer glutes. I've done reviews on those shows, so you can watch them. And then we have Erica. So Erica has not placed as high this year, but she has placed top 5 in the past. She has a really great shape, so I wanted to pull her up. And then we have Brittany. So Brittany is one of those people who could fall anywhere in the show. Like, she could win or she could be like 8th place. So I already said in my last video what kind of color I'd like to see on her. So she could do this blue, but I'd like to see like the Tricot Aquamarine or the Tricot, is it Sea Glass or Ocean Blue or something from Toxic? I pulled it up on Toxic's website in the last video I did, the Toronto recap. So yeah, I would say soften up a little bit. She just looked a little bit too tight. But I'm obsessed with Brittany's look. Bring the confidence on stage, and then I think, she could get second place. Ashley is going to be the front runner to win because she just got second place at the Olympia. So, I mean, as much as I'm a big fan of hers, I think she's going to be Ashley. I'm not going to be naive and say anyone's going to be Ashley. It's possible. Alice Roca, who got 15th at the Olympia last year, her first Olympia, she beat Ashley, and that's how she qualified. And then Kate, someone beat Ashley. Okay, when I get to Ashley, I'll pull up who Kate is. Okay, Ashley Hampton, another person to look out for. She did really well at this same show last year. She just usually is a little bit too vascular, so if she could just bring the fullness and diminish the vascularity, then that would be great. She got second at fifth at the World Classic. So this show last year, she got 5th. I'm a huge Ashley Hampton fan. I think this purple is a little bit too, it has too white of a base for her. It looks like, just not saturated enough, but look at this projection. Like, she has a beautiful muscle bellies. If she could just bring up her glutes so they don't get overshadowed by her quads and hamstrings, I think that would be great. And if she could just bring the right conditioning, then I think she could get top 5. And then we have, I think I just pulled up everyone who's on the list. So I'm going to have to X out people as we go. Okay, so last year, Ashley got second to someone named Kate Carroll. It was Kate Carroll. So yeah, Ashley's not unbeatable, so she could be beat at the show. But yeah, so we just talked about Ashley in the Mile High video, so I don't really have anything new to say, but I think she's our front runner. And then Lauren has placed top 5 multiple times. She placed a 3rd and a 2nd last year too. She did DC a few weeks ago, but I think it was just a little bit too soft. Her shape is really great. I like this new front pose for her. So yeah, we'll just see how she does. She looks really full, really pretty. Her glutes are cuckoo. Love her glutes. But yeah, just need to be a little bit tighter. She looked a little bit just, like she had an extra film of body fat that she needed to get off. I'm sure she's gotten it off by now. And then we have okay, so this person, I just pulled up everyone on the list and I forgot to exit people out. Okay, China. You know I love China. Okay. So, and I interviewed China, so you can watch that if you want. China, I think will definitely be in the top 5, but you never know who is going to win their pro card and come out and surprise us. So on Saturday or Sunday or whenever the show is, Ashley might not even be in the top 5. In theory, well, even with the current list, in theory, she might not even be in the top 5. You know, it's possible. Is it likely? No, she's probably going to win the show. But we could see only the winners from junior nationals get in the top 5 this year. I don't believe anyone from the top 10 last year were the pro card winners. I think maybe 10th place was. But yeah. So nobody who went pro and did this show like stood out at the show, the pro component last year, but you know, that doesn't mean it won't happen. So yeah, China, if she could just be a little bit tighter so she gets more pop and projection in the glutes, then I think she could win this show. I'm really excited to see China do this show. And I like have talked about China's physique very recently, so you can look at that. As far as her posing, yeah, I would just bring the arm in a little bit tighter to her frame, but I think this is really, really, really good. I'm really excited for China. Okay. And then we have who's the next? Okay. So this person has been to the Olympia before. I'll pull up her Olympia pictures. So this is Luciana. Luciana. Uh, Here she is in her front pose. I think, yeah, could up the glam a little bit. I don't mind the pink suit. Really great fullness. So we'll see where she stacks up. She hasn't really done that many, you know, shows that I'm super, super familiar with her. She did a few last year, where she got like third at Optimum, sixth at New York, which is huge, which is a good indicator that she could do very, very well at this show. So I'm excited to see how she looks, and it'll be great to be compared against Ashley because she's second in the world. This pop in her glutes look very similar to Ashley's. Like this reminds me of the shape that Ashley brought to the Olympia last year. She could open up her back a little bit so she's not as pinched up, and then straighten her arms a little bit. That will help with opening her back, and then more glam hair. Just run a brush through it or have it be a little bit longer so you really see the taper of the waist. And I don't want the T-back suit. I want it to cover right here. So you see that's a little light right there. If the suit covered right here, that would be really flattering on her. And she has the glutes. Like this suit is not doing her glutes any favors. Like she has really great glutes, so I want them to be showcased properly. Okay, and this is Danny Smagala. So she just went pro at Junior USA's. Great shape. I'm happy she's doing a pro show right away. I think she could use some more detail on the legs here. She had a lot in the upper body, which I just don't think quite matched the lower body. But she has been like a knocking on the door for a pro card for a long time. So I'm happy to see that she finally got it. She wasn't like super close to getting her pro card many times. Like one time she was one spot away, and then she's been top 5, top 8 at national shows. But that's still really, really, really good. That's like very competitive for national shows. So good for her. I'm really excited to see her get on stage. I think she could be a little tighter in her bottom half here, just like in her front pose. So if she has achieved that between a few weeks ago when she went pro and now, I think she could definitely be in the top 5. It looks like she has great muscular development. We'll just have to see her against other pros because she has a lot of great size in her glutes right now, but she's not lean enough. So when she gets lean enough, will it still look like she has enough size? I'm not sure. So I'm excited to see her. And good luck on your pro debut. And then we have Gabby Stoney, so you know I'm a big fan of hers. Yeah, I think the front pose could just be a little more relaxed. It looks a little bit forced. And the suit top I talked about already. It's a little unflattering, so it could cover more. Yeah, that's what I would want. To, like open the shoulders more. You can watch my review of DC and you'll see what I have to say about her. And her back pose. Okay, in her back pose, I wouldn't do the walk because her glutes do slope off, so don't do a walk unless you have to. I understand you want to like make the most out of your routines, you get extra time as a pro, but I wouldn't give the judges any flaws to see. You know, like get on stage, get off. Show confidence, get off. Hair is a little heavy, I talked about that already, and she needs to be tighter in the lower body. So let's see if she brings a tighter look. If she like gets into that top 5, I think it's very possible. So yeah, excited for her. And then Allie, okay, you know Allie is one of my faves. I'm obsessed with her. Everything I talked about her before. I'm like, what more does it take for her to win, you know, an Olympia? I think a little more legs, a little more density on her lower half. Yeah, Allie is just really good, really captivating. Cannot take your eyes off of her. One of the best posers in the league, in my opinion. She was a little tight in the arm here, so if she could just even out her conditioning, be nice and full, then I think like, will she beat Ashley again? Probably no, but could she get second? Yes. Could she beat Ashley? Yeah, for sure. Alice is not as big as Ashley, but she still beat Ashley last year, so it could totally happen. Allie's back pose is cuckoo bananas. Look at her back pose. Super full glutes. Oh, she's not even fully posed there. Yeah, super full glutes. Her back pose, I think, is in perfect balance. Her front pose, I think, could use a tiny bit more leg. But wow, I'm a huge fan. I love Allie. So, who are my predictions? Okay. Okay, let me make a prediction list. Okay, so I'm gonna say in first place, world, what is it? World Classic. Okay, so I'm gonna say Ashley K. Okay, then I'm gonna put Allie Bathauer. Okay, this could change. So I'm gonna say Ashley, and any of these, like there could be someone who goes pro and then like wins a show or gets in that top five. So this is clearly not like a final prediction. Okay, I want Brittany Gillespie to be in there, so I'm gonna say Brittany, but I might move her around because she could win or she could get last. Like you never know with her. Uh, okay, China. Oh, actually, I think China could even edge out Allie. I think China could get second or third. She could even win if she gets a little bit tighter and gets the projection that we want to see. But okay, I'm gonna say China next because I think she's gonna compare really well structurally to Ashley. And I think China could win. So Ashley, China, Allie, I have Brittany in fourth, which I'm sure she would not like to hear that because she's gone fourth a handful of times. And then I think I'd like to see Danny Smagala in there. Judy could actually also, she could be in the top five. NPC World Classic IFBB. I think she was third there last year. Let's see. If this is the same person, like I think she could be in there again. Uh, okay, so I'll say Ashley, China, Allie, Brittany, and then Ashley Hampton. And then I'm just gonna kind of list people I think could be in there. So I'll say Gabby next. Gabby, and then, but okay, Gabby did edge out Lauren Kralovec already, so like a few weeks ago, so it could happen again. I'll put Danny next. So I have a top, that's four or five, I have seven. So I'm gonna have Ashley, China, Allie, Brittany, Ashley Hampton, who I think could actually edge out Brittany. So, but I'll leave it because I think they both come in harder with their conditioning. And then Gabby, Danny. So that's my top seven. Let me know below what you think. And yeah, check out the nonprofit I have listed. And that's it. Bye.